What's going on, everyone? We good? All right. So, just got some sketching to do today. I was doing some ink work for a convention I have coming up. Kind of not happy with how things were coming out, so actually just gonna do it in graphite instead. So, see how that works out. Oh, another thing I was doing with the sketches, or the sketches I was gonna have for yo, how come what's going on, dude? The sketches I was prepping for a convention, I didn't really like how they're coming out. They were just so like it's rendered well, but it's like really flat. You know what I mean? Like there's versus this sketch I did, it's a lot more dynamic. The perspective on it, or just like everything on it, is a little bit more dynamic. Or I'm personally just bored of like this look because I've been doing this Copic shit for how long now? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just ready for something different. But other than that, the posing to it is very just like boring. This one should be from let's see, I have it pulled up here. Oh, Grand Blue. I'm unfamiliar with that property. So another thing, when like let's if you're making like a series, if you're making like a series of drawings that, because I'm making a set of traditional pieces to sell at Evo, um and I swear to God, I think I'm just gonna go with pencil graphite on them. I did finally hop on Steam yesterday, just 'cause I was like tired of drawing. I was bored, and then I saw that they have the MVC collection already ready to go on Steam. So I was just like, shit. I want the physical copy though. What you got going on, man? It's fucking Thursday already? I try and figure out a good pose. Other than it being Thursday, I can't believe like the month's gone already. I meant to stream a lot more this week, but I just was busy. I spent one morning just working on my car. I sharpened my like I used to use a knife to sharpen my pens, my pencils rather. And like I get it, or even these, I would use a knife to sharpen them. Not gonna lie, the regular pencil sharpener works better. Anime Jane, what's up? Yeah, yeah. You've been doing an hour and 40 minutes every day on the treadmill. You have blister on your feet. Are you using any foot powders? Because I use I run in toe shoes, the 5 finger shoes. Now when I used to run a lot, I'm talking about like over 5 miles a day. That was back in the day. I would always get these. I would always get like wear and tear, and then I just started like taking on like Arm and Hammer. Just, no, Gold Bond foot powder, and it was just like night and day. My feet stopped taking damage while I was running. Here, I'm not familiar with this character's name. No, this was it. Fairy. No, it helps anywhere where there's you know squeezy friction. Go ahead and apply some of that. I promise you. Yeah, I think hiking Crocs. I have regular Crocs. I have these special edition Crocs that I got at TwitchCon. Got them for free. TwitchCon had free special for well they had it's the same color as it's the Twitch purple, right? They had them available at TwitchCon Las Vegas last year. But they gave a free set or a free pair to all the artists. Yeah, it was funny because like I had my helper there and he just loves free stuff. He'll take anything that's free, right? And I'm talking about when we go to convention, he'll walk around the place and just everything that's free, he'll just take it. He don't give a fuck. And I was just like, "Hey man, you want some Crocs for free?" And he was just like, "What do you mean?" So I explained it to him. He was just like, "Nah." That's the first time I ever heard him say no to anything free. And of all the things to say no to, you could have flipped these Crocs. He could have got a pair. He could have got the pair, kept them in the bag, because they came with like a special edition pin. You know how you could put the pins in the little holes in the front or whatever those are called, and it came with like a special set of those too. So he could have kept it all in a bag, waited like 5 years, and then after Twitch goes out of business, he could he could have tried to flip it. You know what? TwitchCon is not as bad as other shows when it comes to gross people. I mean, like, I'm sure in regards to character, TwitchCon has the worst group of people. But in regards to like physical smells and like well being, the I haven't I find that the other cons I've been to are worse than TwitchCon. Supposed to be more swole? Or you're saying she's more swole than Akuma? Uh, well, obviously, yeah, that style is yeah, that style's like my favorite look. I was going in on the that early 2000s style when I was doing the Street Fighter sketch cards for the Patreon. And then as I was doing more studying and more, I was just like, God, I just love this style. So I'm kind of leaning into it more just because it's more fun. And you guys know what I've been talking about. I'm just kind of bored with how I've been drawing. So I think we'll be exploring, that style for a little bit in regards to like the muscular. I think it's more like the way the musculature is shaped on characters. We'll be exploring that for a little bit. But that is definitely where all this comes from. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Man, when the collection comes out, I am ready to go get my ass whooped on MVC2 online. I'll do it though. I'll go play. I haven't picked up a fighting game in a long time, but I'm down. It's about the journey, not the destination. uh, not Canon Ryu, but they said they're sick, so sure. I guess without the red, it does have kind of Ken's old hairstyle. Hey, what's going on? From the Kick chat. I think you're the first person to comment on the Kick chat in like a year and a half. Malcolm says we need Capcom versus Essen. We just need a new. We just need a new one. Doesn't even matter what it is. Utilize the entire side of the smudge tool. I have a bigger one too. I don't know where I put it. I have a smudge tool that's like freaking this big. Oh man, my wife is cooking like dinner roll, or she's baking like dinner rolls right now from scratch, by the way. Yeah, ever since I told my wife she could retire, I was just like, okay, but like, you got to be in charge of all the food. And now she's learned how to cook like cook and bake like everything. So it's pretty sweet. I think it's a fair trade off. I think you still get a little bit of glare. It looks a little bit more like, yes, it catches a little glare. The contrast is actually a lot more aggressive than it looks. Denzer just stumbled on your stream at random, was fascinated by the concept of live streaming. Do you do original drawings as well, or is it still based on pre-existing designs? Just curious. Um, I do both. Naturally, when I get like private commission work, client work, it's almost always fan art because that's just what people want. I have my own original stuff. It's not my source of money, so you don't see me do it as often. And if I do it, I don't do it on stream usually. Yeah, so for anyone who just joined, I'm prepping some drawings. I have a convention coming up. Oh. Uh who was your characters in in MVC2? I was that guy who mained Mega Man, Cable, and I think I rotated between Cyclops and Captain America if I remember right. I know Mega Man and Cable for sure were always on my team, and I would always rotate that third one. So anyway, so I've been working on a set of drawings that I was going to be selling at a convention that I have coming up. Like I have art prints, but I have a 10 by 10, like it's a big exhibitor booth for this convention that's coming up. Normally, I have like a 6-foot artist table, but this time I have like a big 10-foot spot. So there's a section that I'm going to dedicate towards original ink drawings, and you guys know me, I'm very proficient with alcohol markers. And I finished this one and a couple of other ones, and I was like, man, this looks boring. You know, I've done so many of these, like all my Copic drawings, they don't look bad. They're just kind of boring to me. So I'm thinking if we go like this graphite look, it'll be a nice change. Nyborg, what's going on? Thank you. Hope your day is going well. You know, I was listening to this very interesting artist the other day, and he had said something along the lines of he was talking about alcohol markers, and he was talking about once you get good enough with alcohol markers, and you know your blending gets really good, and it gets so the your drawings get so clean that ultimately it just looks like a digital drawing, you know. So it's kind of like, what's the point? You know who said that? It was me. Guys, remember that the other day when we were like, I think we were oil painting, and I was here on stream, and I was just like, I'm bored of my Copic drawings because they're so smooth that they look digital now, and they just to me they look boring. Shout out to Copic Marker. If you guys feel like continuing to send me products, I'll keep using them. But my point is, I don't know, I'm like over rendering to the point where my stuff looks digital, even my traditional stuff, to me anyway. So a lot of this change that I'm trying now is just so I can just I don't know, I just want to get some of that like grit back to the artwork. Like you ever like follow a YouTube channel for a long time and like their first videos are really fun and they're really energetic, and then they up their production values as the years go on to the point where it's just like looks like you're just watching a TV show and it's not fun anymore because it's just like overproduced. That's how I'm feeling about my drawings. Oops. Anyway, so appreciate y'all hanging in there with me while I experiment with stuff. All right, hold on. Someone's at the door. Sure, you can hear my dog barking. All right, I'm gonna have a quick pause as I go check who's at my door. It was the Amazon guy. You want to see how big my puppy got? He's almost 2 years old now. Well, 2 years old in August. So almost, yeah. All right, all right. So have I discussed with y'all? I think I discussed it last stream, but have I discussed with y'all my favorite artist? A lot of people think it's Kim Jung Gi just because of like the stuff we normally draw, but I'm on record saying that my favorite artist is Elisa Ivanova. So recently I've been actually I've been going through all my art books again, which is a mighty pile, and just kind of trying to change things up. And I've done observations of her artwork. You know, the way she blends and all that. However, I've never done like a hardcore like deep dive study into it. Yeah. I always focused on the ink freestyle Kim Jung Gi Super Annie stuff because I was doing a lot of like performance artwork at you know, at shows. But hands down my favorite artist. So we're taking a bit of that um Marvel versus Capcom style with her style and kind of just mixing it all up together. Plus, you know, my stuff. So, in case you're wondering where a lot of these different inspirations are coming from, they're just I'm taking like my current knowledge and just applying it to, you know, all these different. That's how you learn. Somebody was in the chat not too long ago. Obviously a younger artist. By younger, I mean less experienced, not necessarily age younger, but they were just like, "Yo, people told me I shouldn't copy, um, because that's not how you learn." Like, what the fuck told you that? And you know, another thing about why I prefer, I'm really liking this. Other than the look, it's it's so much. How easy would it be to carry around just a couple of pencils and sticks and a bunch of smudge tools versus carrying around like a fucking wallet of Copic markers. Anyway, and another thing I have to be observant about is not to over render when I do this. Whoops. Like, maybe I should move this. It's like I'm smearing all over it. Yeah, always learn from reference. But anyway, it was just someone had given that young artist some very bad advice. It's not their fault. It's you know, it's people around. Yeah, anytime somebody says that, I just don't take them seriously as a like a human being. There's not enough like definition. It's like too smudged out. Have to fix yourself something to eat. Your shadow shapes remind you of day. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, I've never done a deep dive into his. I love his work. Huge fan. He did a I think it was a Chrono Trigger painting not too long ago. It might have been hella long ago, and I just lost track of time. But I was just like sick, and like I think that's my favorite thing that he's done so far. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of his work. But my point is, I've never done like a deep dive study into his work, which I think would be fun, right? Now that we're painting a lot more, now that we're gotten into oil painting, and I mean, eventually I'll pick up some acrylic stuff, but I just don't have space in my office right now. So whenever my current oils dry, my current oil paintings, because I don't have like space. That's why I haven't done any more oil paintings. If you guys didn't notice, we were doing them hardcore for a few days and then it just stopped. Yes, because I ran out of space to hit, like sit stuff. So once those are dry and I can fucking put them somewhere, we'll do more oil paintings. Jamie, what's going on? We'll sit on this one and figure out what to do with it later. There you go. All right. I have a list of characters that I want to get sketched out for this convention. So let me. So we got some Guilty Gear characters potentially as well. I'm not familiar with Guilty Gear though. There's Street Fighter, Guilty King of Fighters. We got. We can do Yuri. Tekken. We can do Tekken. We got some. I want to draw wings right now. Just been drawing a bunch of Street Fighter characters lately. Tekken. All right, let's see who we have to pick from Tekken. What's your next con? Do you spray over these sketches to preserve them? Um, yeah, I have a workable fixative. I think it's Krylon 1306. Shit, I could be wrong about that product number, but I think it's 1306. That's my favorite, kind of like universal. You know, it doesn't get it dries fast. It doesn't get too gritty. Something as simple as this, it should seal it just fine. And this is a watercolor paper too, so uh, I find when you use like a printer paper, it'll smear way easier. I gotta think of an interesting pose. Basically, every pose that I do has to be foreshortened in some way, because like here are some sketches I did yesterday, and you're gonna see the difference. So like just in regards to posing, you see the difference? One's a lot more dynamic, obviously. So I've just been stuck in this really flat, like straightforward pose, like funk lately. So that's why I was like, see, it's just they're just like sitting in it like a fucking, you know, like they're just sitting, they're just chilling versus like that. My next convention, I have Anime Expo next weekend. But yeah, I will be sealing these with spray. So I have to try to come up with a pose that is a little bit more interesting than the ones I showed you. Zafina? Let's see. So if you're curious to see what I'm looking at, well, hold on. I'm sitting. I work on a bench, like a bench press bench, and my dog likes to sit next to me while I work. Yes. Okay. So if you're curious to see what I'm looking at, I have the set of characters that I want to do for this convention. Um, so I can strictly for references for the designs. And when it comes to the poses, I come up with those myself. But I like to get like 3 or 4 references for the character just so I can kind of get like an idea, like would they pose in the pose that I'm making, basically. And then I need to see what their outfit looks like. Yeah. Go lay down. Go lay down. Come on. Or would she? Like some Dragon Ball shit. Hand on the. Is that like armor on her left arm, I think? Armor plating. Yeah. Or her right arm, rather. Mm. A little bit of armor, shoulder pads on both sides, it looks like. Come on. Yo, Joy, what's up? The back wires currently uh at AX. I will not have. So, are you talking about like the black and white stuff, like the print, the car stuff that I have on my website, or are you talking about like this stuff? Because this stuff will not be available at AX. I will be taking commissions at AX, which will be in this grayscale style. Um, but these ones specifically are going to be available at Evo, which is in like 3 weeks. Uh, here for something. Yeah, you know I appreciate the lurk. looks like the hood. There's like a lot of layers to her outfit. And I'm not like super familiar with her design, so you gotta let me kind of figure this out. Jane, yes. Let's make the lighting a little bit more aggressive in this one. So we'll, because we're making the light source her hand. So we'll go ahead and make this one a lot more aggressive than like these ones where it's almost like, you know, just whatever lighting. So let's go ahead and try something a little different with this one. We'll push the darker areas darker, and we'll put a higher contrast between the everything, I guess, just to make the lighting a little bit more aggressive, and we'll see how that looks. Oh yeah, this one was a lot of fun. I have a lot more fun drawing musculature than I do fabrics. What kind of pencils am I using? They're just I'm using a 2B and a 4H graphite, and then some smudge tools, and an electric eraser. You see the new Batman show trailer? I have not. I'm aware of it. Finally, I'm aware of something pop culture. I know. Uncommon for me, right? Thank you for the follow. But yeah, I'm aware that that exists, but I have not gotten around to looking at it yet. My wife is not a fan of me switching to graphite pencil. She loves my alcohol marker and ink work. Um, so we gotta do well here. So I could show her what the fuck is up. No. So I could be like, bitch. Personally, use a lot of B pencils, specifically 4B and 2B with the standard. You do use other numbers, but those are your faves. Nice. I think the H pencils will allow smudginess. Well, to be fair, you notice I'm not using the 4H um that much. I'm just kind of using it to I'm actually using it to clean up a lot of the sections. So everything I'm putting down first is just with the 2B. Um I find this is like if you layer it, you can get a nice solid black, but it's light enough so that you could get like really light gradients with it. So this is just kind of my go-to. Even these ones over here are two. Um, but then you notice that when I come back and do the sharpening, that's what I'm using the 4H for. But honestly, I bet I could probably do this with a mechanical pencil too. I don't really think it'd be that big of a difference. Just being straightforward. Go away, Nvidia. No one's trying to fucking mess with you right now. My wife just sent me a picture of the bread she just baked. Could you color them without Photoshop, without pencil running everywhere? I mean, I I don't know. I mean, like I'm sure there's a way. Like the problem is if I hit it with alcohol markers, like a Copic or something, it will smear. Watercolor 100% would smear, and then any other like my oil paints would just go over it. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I personally have not explored that, so I'm gonna say I don't know. I did an alcohol marker drawing today, but you lost a bit of steam with them after seeing a video where the colors faded in less than 2 years. Um, it you know it really depends because like I've been using Copic markers for like 8 years now, and I have some drawings from back then that haven't faded at all. I find the combination of how you store it and I think how much marker you use. So like I use when I do so this is watercolor paper. I'm just using some cheap watercolor paper for this because I can get it in bulk, right? That's why I practice with. But when I do like actual drawings, like this is done on a 100 pound Bristol board, right? Um, it doesn't look like it, but I use a lot of ink, and just because the Bristol boards can absorb a lot of ink. So I mean, I'm not a scientist anymore, but I find that my Copic drawings do not fade. Now it might be the Copic ink versus the other alcohol marker ink, but I have drawings that are like 7 years old that have not faded. Um, what I use Bristol, the 100 pound Bristol, the Strathmore brand Bristol. That's what I use for all my like my commission work, like like high end stuff. But I'm only using water. I get this cheap watercolor paper because it's good to practice one watercolor. It's good to practice oil painting on it. And it's like I mean we're just using a really basic traditional medium, so I can use the that on here. But in regards to like you want have to have like a long lasting on your alcohol markers, I would just get a heavier paper. Then again, I don't know if that's actually going to make a difference. All I know is that it's worked for me. Now I'm not saying alcohol markers don't fade. There was this whole thing. I can't remember how many years ago it was, but this lady went on like this fucking demolition rant on social media. Um, she was like a well-regarded artist. She was on going on this fucking tirade on social media about Copic markers and you know and how they fade and like how it's not worth it. So you should buy my product. you know. Anyway, so I'm not saying they don't fade. It might just be the fate, but isn't that the fate of all materials that we use, other than like oil paints? But even those will eventually break down. My dog is like pushing me off the bench because she's trying to lay down. On thick paper markers, is spread a bit. You have art from 10 years ago still intact, so markers are a bit in that regard. Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know what the optimal choice would be. All I'm saying is anecdotal. The stuff that I've done holds to this day. Maybe that's just because I live in where I live's not very humid. They I have them stored pretty well. That could be it. Like if somebody gets a commission done from by me, and maybe they have it up on a wall, and that wall gets sunlight every day. Maybe those are fucked up and faded, and I don't know about it. Parsley, stop! She's like pushing me off. She's like pushing me off the seat. I have my dog here. I like I was saying earlier. I work on a bench. It's like a straight up a bench press bench. That's what I because they're comfortable and they're sturdy. That's why I draw on that. But it's cool because it's long enough so that when I'm working, she could sit next to me, and she's like trying to lay down, so she keeps kicking me back. You never want to bring up anything too political in this chat, but the debates are today. Uh, ah, I don't speak that language. See, this is getting a little too over rendered for my taste. We got to get a little sloppier with it. That's what she said. Today's drawing did become good. So you scan it. Nice. You're gonna color it. Yeah, we were having that conversation earlier where I was just like one of the reasons I'm exploring different mediums lately is because my parsley, stop. So fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, one of the reasons I'm switching mediums is because I've gotten so like I've gotten so bored of my alcohol marker drawings because like I've gotten so proficient with them that they look like I said earlier, they may as well just be digital drawings at this point because my blending is so smooth. God, I'm not trying to like boast. I'm just saying like it's a tool I've it's a medium that I've practiced so much, and now it's just like boring. So um shit, I had a point other than talking myself up. I mean that's always the main point, but like I had another point. I can't remember what it is. My my wife's texting me. You better hurry your ass up. Eat this bread. Man, I had a point. I was making a point. Oh, okay, yeah. So because I've gotten so used to like blending it perfectly, and it's just so over rendered, it looks all digital, like it's too clean. I need to be aware to not do that with what I'm practicing here. There's something about the um, and I don't know who here works has a lot of like private client work, but you'll find that they like that imperfection stuff that comes with traditional art. Just like the layman, the untrained people, the regular people. Like I give it back to you, the people. I started doing watercolor pencils, so a change of pace is good. Watercolor pencils. Somebody bought me some watercolor pens. They're just brush pens. They're just. I assume that the ink in them is just like water based, and then they're colored brush pens. So they're colored brush pens with water based ink in them. Then they label them as watercolor pens. And I'm just like, all right, cool, sure, thank you. But they're good for sketchbooking. So now you want to talk about inks that will probably fade over time. Those will probably fade over time. The pencils have a specific lead pigment that activates when using water, so is to blend. Oh, fancy. You know, that's probably much cleaner, like much easier to look. I make a bigger mess with watercolor than I do with oil painting. Like when I'm watercoloring, there's just shit everywhere. Using those are probably way easier. Oh no, 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 not yet. So I don't want to use the electric eraser. We want to use the nuclear bomb. Where is it? There it is. Adam Hughes refers to these erasers as nuclear bombs. At least in one video I watched. He was just like, you could take your kneaded eraser to clean up areas. And I'm paraphrasing. He's like, you could take a kneaded eraser to clean up areas, or you just take this thing and just nuke the whole paper. So we're just gonna nuke the whole paper. Has anyone? I'm sure you guys have like watched a lot of tutorials, art tutorials in your time. Have you ever gone back to like an old tutorial that you used to look up to when you were like getting started, and you were just like, "Oh, that's amazing," and then you look at it now and you're just like, "All right, that's easy work." This is my eraser brush, my archaeology brush. Get the dust off these dinosaur bones. Do you use the stretchy, malleable eraser? Use them to sculpt in your free time? Are you talking about like kneaded erasers? I have kneaded erasers. I don't actually use them a lot. I mean like I know that they're better because they don't lift up parts of the paper because you guys know that when you use one of these erasers, you're literally picking up pieces of the page when you do that, and a kneaded eraser doesn't. That's their advantage. But they just I don't know. Like if I use a fine tip on my electric eraser, it kind of does everything that a kneaded eraser does. Looks like a toothbrush. Maybe use hairspray on your pencil drawings. You did that with charcoal. Smears since it's commission. Oh, you're talking about with your commission work? You like to seal it with hairspray? That works. I just use a generic fixative. Again, I think it's Krylon 13, Krylon 1307. I can't. I got a bottle of it up there. I've had it for a few years. Hopefully, it's still good. Actually, I've had it for a few years. I'm surprised it hasn't like exploded or anything yet. Clean up these edges a little bit. And then when we're done cleaning up these edges, I'm gonna go out and eat some goddamn dinner rolls. What's everyone got going on today? Well, it's almost the end of the week. What does everyone have going on the weekend? Is the question. Today, weekend, whatever day you got off. All the weekend in the gym. Nice. Yeah, I have to go. I will be going to the gym later today. It's part of the wife's physical physical therapy. Your 5 mile runs are starting to become a lot easier every day. Good, dude. That's how it's supposed to be. That's good, man. I'm glad that you're getting that good work in. I have switched over to just going using the stairs. I've ran enough in my lifetime. I'm just like, nah, I'm good. And I'm just planning to go to the city in a day or two. Told off a guy that was wasting your time since February and trying to continue some projects. uh, you know how clients be. How clients, you know how clients can be. Can't speak. Anyway, this was fun. Yeah, so we'll be messing around with these a little bit more. Nice change of pace, right? Have you guys been enjoying the different kinds of streams we've been doing? Watercolor one day, fucking Copics the other day, oil paints next, and then I think this one we'll do a couple more times. Oh, I did finish that car commission. For anyone who hasn't seen it, it's literally exactly what it was last time you saw it because I sat there and I was just like, what can I add to this? I don't want to add anything to it. I'm going to mess it up. So it's done. Ah, 19. You got some young clients. That's your problem right there. A variety stream. I'm just I'm just gonna do different mediums. That way, nobody's ever happy with any streams that we do. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. We'll come back on tomorrow and do some more of these because I think this is the style that I'll probably do these characters in. For Evo, it'll be very different from what everyone else has at Evo. It'll be different from what I normally have. That'll be a anyway. You guys get it. I'm gonna go eat. Time to go get fat. Everyone have a good one, and I'll go watch that Batman trailer.